So let us start off. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, sir.
So today is the Guru Purnima. So we will just chant Guru Stotram. I will put it on the screen and then I will chant and you can chant after me. Okay, so can you see this Stotram?
Yes. Yes, Guruji.
Okay. Now let me see if I can make it bigger for you. I'm becoming very big, so let me see. Okay, I think you can look at it this way. Fine, this is visible, right?
Yes. Yes, it
I'll
is.
try to make it slightly bigger.
Yes.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. Yes, Guruji.
Okay, so let us chant. Akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam.
Akhanda mandalakaram
Atpadam darshitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu,
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu,
Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha,
Guru Devo Maheshwaraha,
Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Guru Deva Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Thavaram Jangamam Vyaptam
Avaram Jangam
Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena
Tattam Darshitam Yena
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Chinmayam Vyapi Yat Sarvam
Chinmayam Vyapti Yat Sarvam
Trailokyam Sacharacharam
Trailokyam Sacharacharam
Atpadam दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
पदं दर्शितं
गुरुवे नमः।
श्री गुरुवे नमः।
सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्नः
सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्नः
विराजितपदाम्बुजः
विराजितपदाम्बुजः
वेदान्तं भुजसूर्यो यः
वेदान्तं भुजसूर्यः
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
चैतन्य शाश्वत शान्तः
चैतन्य शाश्वतः
व्योमातीतो निरञ्जनः
व्योमातीतो निरञ्जनः
बिन्दुनादकलातीतः तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः
ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः
तत्त्वमाला विभ्रश्यतः
मालाविभूषितः
प्रदाता च
मुक्तिप्रदाता
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
अनेक जन्म संप्राप्त
अनेक जन्म संप्राप्त
कर्मबंध विदाहिने
कर्मबन्धविदाहिने
आत्मज्ञान प्रदानेन
आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च
शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च
ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः
ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः
गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक्
गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक्
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं
न गुरोरधिकं
न गुरोरधिकं तपः
न गुरोरधिकं तपः
तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति
तत्त्वज्ञानात् नास्ति।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
मन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथः
मन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथः
मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरुः
मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरुः
मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
गुरुरादिर्नादिश्च
गुरुरादिर्नादिश्च
गुरुरादिरनादिश्च गुरुः परमदैवतम्
परमदैवतम्
गुरोः परतरं नास्ति
गुरोः परतरं नास्ति।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव
त्वमेव माता च पिता
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
इव बन्धुसखा
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव
एव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
एव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
एव सर्वं मम देव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
Okay, so that is the Guru Stotram. It's a beautiful one which we chant on Guru Purnima day normally.
Happy Guru Purnima Acharya ji.
Thank you for your good wishes. But remember that the actual Guru is only my Guru. So that I am just the pipe from which the knowledge flows. Okay, so one must remember that always. All right. So today we will continue from where we left off. And we are now on the 20th verse, right? Yes, we are on the 20th verse. Chapter 2. So if you will just unmute yourself, we can chant that particular verse. Shri Bhagavanuvāca न जायते म्रियते कदाचित्
जायते म्रियते कदाचित्
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः
अजो नित्यः पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Okay, so look at the grammar first. I'll just mute your
0805 या नंबर एमा जे लखा है.
So na jayate mriyate. So there you have to supply the na again. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachin na ayam so na ayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatah ayam पुराणः न हन्यते अन्यमाने शरीरे. So kadachin has to be broken into kadachit. Some people will have kadachit nayam. So that is kadachit plus na plus ayam. Bhutva bhavita, if it comes together in your book, it is bhutva and bhavita. And the anvayam will be ayam na kadachit jayate, and you supply another na mriyate va, full stop, na bhutva bhuyah abhavita nava. Then full stop, abhutva bhuyah bhavita ayam ajah nityah shashvatah puranah sharire hanyamane na hanyate. One of the most important verses of the Gita. So look at the meanings. Ayam. This ayam is ye, this one. So this one ayam is what? This is the Atma we are talking about, because Krishna is talking about Atma. So this ayam means Atma. Na kadachit. Kadachit means kabhivi, never. So na kadachit, never. Jayate is born. So this Atma is never born. Ayam na kadachit jayate. The Atma is never born. Ayam na kadachit mriyate va. So va is or. Na or is never born, or na kadachit mriyate va, or it never dies, nor does it ever die. Then na bhutva. Bhutva means having come into existence. So na bhutva, having come into existence, you have to first take the word bhutva. Na bhutva bhuya abhavitaha. So that's a little bit complicated. Na bhutva bhuya abhavitaha means having come into existence, it will not go out of existence. And that na means that you have to supply. Na abhutvaha bhuyaha bhavitaha. Not, it is not that having become existent, non-existent, abhavitaha, it again becomes existent. So it's slightly complicated. I'll explain while explaining the verse. Then I am, this, Atma, Ajaha, unborn, Nityaha, timeless, Shashvataha, eternal, ever the same, Puranaha, very old, Sharire, Hanyamane. Sharire Hanyamane, when the body is destroyed, Ayam Nahanyate, this Atma is not destroyed. One of the most important verses. And let us rewrite the sentences for our understanding. Ayam Najayate, this Atma is not born. Va, or Ayam Namriyate, this Atma does not die. Then what? Ayam Bhutva, this Atma having become existent, na bhavitaha na bhavati abhavitaha bhuyaha, does not ever become non-existent ever again. And last part is Ayam Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha, Sharire Hanyamane na Hanyate. This Ayam, this Atma, Ajaha, is never born, Nityaha, eternal, Shashvataha, undergoes no change at all, Puranaha, is very old, Sharire Hanyamane na Hanyate, Ayam Atma. When the body is destroyed, this Atma does not get destroyed. So another very, very important verse. Again, this verse is borrowed from Kathopanishad. So when we study Kathopanishad, we'll study that related verse also. The borrowal of verses basically is meant to indicate that nothing in the Bhagavad Gita is original. It is all just being paraphrased, just being borrowed from the Upanishads, the Shruti, which is the original teaching. And this is a very, very important verse. And therefore, that is the reason that you find that the chanda, the meter is changed. So in Shastram, there is, when Shastram wants to highlight this was particularly important, it changes the meter sometimes. So the earlier chanda was, what chanda, do you remember all the earlier verses?
Yes,
Anushtup chanda. And this is what?
Trishtup.
Trishtup chanda. So do you remember the number of letters in Trishtup chanda?
44.
44. So 11 in the symbol, the syllables are 11 in each line. Okay, so it's indicating that it is a more important, it's an important verse, and therefore you'll find the verse is longer also. So that importance is being shown by the changing the meter, changing the chanda. That is one way of understanding. So the essence of this verse is that Atma is ever free from any modification or any change. So Atma is nirvikara. This is what is being conveyed by this verse. Vikara means what? Change. Nirvikara means free from change. What does it mean? So Shankara says, Navastu Vikriyaha. So Vikriya is change. Vastu is Atma. So he says, Vastu na vikriyaha. There is never any change in the Atma. What kind of change? The moment you say vikara, what should you remember?
The Shadvikara.
Shad vikaras. What are they?
Asti jayate vardhate vipurinmate apakshiyate vinashyati.
Yeah, so you should remember all those. That is why Tattva is extremely important, because wherever a technical word is used, you must automatically recall the context from Tattva. Then only Shastra makes sense. So now look at the shloka. Na jayate. Atma is never born. Therefore, birth belongs to Sukshma Shariram only. And of course, Sthula Shariram, but never the Atma. And na mriyate. So the na in front of jayate should be again read na mriyate. This Atma never dies also. So when you say that, when you use the word vikriya or vikara, you are saying that birth and death are basically not final events. Changes, the word change is being used, right? So what is the great advantage of thinking of death as a change? It removes the sting from the word, it removes the fear of death, because it's only a change. And since birth, we are used to changes, right? Our body grows old, the nails fall off, the teeth fall off, the hair grows white, head grows bald. Changes come in our muscular structure, we become weaker. All these things happen. So we are used to changes from day one. And we are not afraid of change. What we are afraid of is total annihilation, vanishing, which is what we think of death as complete end. And that is what Krishna is saying here. Death is not the end, it's only a change. So don't be afraid. And kadachit, at any time. Why kadachit? This kadachit has to be connected to all the Shadvikara. Kadachit na jayate, kadachit na mriyate, kadachit na apakshiyate. All that. Every Shadvikara that you know of, the 6 of them, kadachit has to be added. So never at any time these changes will be there for the Atma. All these changes are basically for whom? For the body only. And so he says, I am. So na I am bhutva, second line. So I am na bhutva. It never comes into existence at a particular time. And because it never comes into existence, it means it's always been there. You cannot say Atma came into existence at so and so time. Because the entire universe, it exists in Atma only. And therefore Atma never comes into existence. It has always been there. Therefore, ajaha, it is unborn. And what is birth? We saw in an earlier verse. That which was abhava, that which had no existence, has become bhava, has got existence now. That is birth. What is death? For the same definition, what is death?
Change.
No, you have to think of it with these words. That which was bhava, that which was existent, has
Abhava.
become abhava.
Abhava.
Where did you see this? Which verse?
Previous word.
Na
No.
bhavo vidyate sataha.
Which one?
16th
Nasato vidyate bhavaha.
Na bhavo
Verse number
vidyate
16.
16.
Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Never forget that. That is the very basis of all this. Okay, so birth is abhava becoming bhava, non-existent becoming existent. Death is the existent becoming non-existent. Bhavaha becoming abhavaha. So that is the first and second line. Now look at the third line. This is an expansion of the first and second line. Atma does not come into existence. It has always been there. So the second line. Na ayam bhutva bhavita vana bhoyaha. That which is existent will never become non-existent in future. So what is that called from Tattvabodha angle? That which is existent now and will always be existent, which means ayam bhutva, it is existent now. Na bhuyah abhivataha, it will never again become non-existent. What do we call that? What is the definition which you should recall from Tattvabodha?
Sat.
Which one?
Sat.
Nitya. Nitya.
From Tattvabodha. Trikale tishtati iti what?
Iti sat.
Iti sat. So this is sat, existence itself. Bhuya means again. So this again has to be understood properly. Normally, when you say again, it is because it happened at one point of time. But here, bhuya means punaha, again and again. So it is just an emphasis. It is emphasizing the negation of the possibility of Atma going out of existence. Atma is always there. That is why Tattvabodha said Trikala Tishtati. That which exists in all the three kalas. Therefore, Atma can never be said to have any death. And then there's a word Va. Va na bhuyaha. Okay. So this Va is a beautiful word over here. What does it indicate? Here we have talked about the Atma once having been in existence, never going out of existence. So this Va has to be interpreted as the entire process in reverse. So the first one he said was the existing can never become non-existent. Bhavaha can never become abhavaha. That na simply indicates that abhavaha can never become bhavaha. Therefore, Atma cannot be said to have birth. Atma cannot be said to have death. And because of that, in the third line, he gives a few new adjectives. Ajaha. Ajaha means without birth. Nityaha means eternal. Shashvataha. Shashvataha normally means what?
Always there.
Permanent,
Always there.
eternal. But he has already used Nitya, eternal. And therefore here, to avoid a dosha, a defect, which we call what?
Repetition.
Punarukti.
Punarukti dosha. Okay, the punarukti. It's important to remember these words. I know you understand the meaning and are able to explain in English. But when we do Shastram, you have to remember this word. So punarukti dosha, as Ambarish said, that you must remember. So punarukti dosha has to avoid it, which means repetition should not be there. And therefore, Shankara gives it a different meaning. Normal dictionary meaning, Nitya and Shashvata will be the same, eternal. So Shankara here says, apaksya rahita. Means what?
Not changing.
Changeless. It doesn't go through that.
What is apaksya?
Sadvikara.
You have to be very clear of the meaning of each of Shadvikaras. What is apaksya?
It cannot be seen or experienced.
Nope.
No.
No.
Doesn't go through it.
Jayadev.
You guys have to go back to your
Decay.
exactly. Apaksya means decay. Kshiyate. Kshiyate is decay. Kshayaha. The word comes from the word Kshayaha. So please remember to go back to all these words which you are not remembering and understand the meaning again. So Shankara says it is free from degeneration, free from decay. Apaksya rahita. Rahita means free from. And then how does degeneration take place? So Shankara gives a small little para on that. He says normally avayava apakshayaha. So avayava means parts. It's a term very often used in Shastra. Avayava. It means parts. And avayava apakshaya means when the parts have gone. Right? So like you have lost a hand, or you have lost a leg, or you have lost one kidney, or you have lost one lung, or one part of your body. That is avayava, the part, apakshayaha, has gone away. That is one type of degeneration. And then Shankara says, but there is a second type of decay also, where the substance, the parts, the avayava are intact, but the functions are gone. Therefore, your golakam is intact, but the function is gone. So your hand is there, but it has been paralyzed. It can't be used anymore. Therefore, the attribute of movement has gone. 1 ear, the golakam is still there, but you are deaf in that ear. The attribute of hearing is gone. You have the eye, the golakam, but you cannot see through that eye. The attribute of movement has gone. So this is a different type of degeneration. It is called guna apakshaya. So remember, the first one is parts have gone, avayava apakshaya. The second one is guna apakshaya. The guna has gone, the parts are there. Neither of these definitions will apply to Atma, because Atma has no parts and no gunas. So Atma is nir-avayava and nirguna. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so these are all important concepts enabling to us to understand what Krishna is meaning, right? Then Ayam Puranaha. So the Shashvato Yam has to be broken into Shashvataha plus Ayam. So Ayam Puranaha. So Puranaha here can be taken as ancient, right? But there is a definition. Pura eva navaha pranaha. That which is now fresh, even though it is old. Do you understand? Pura eva nava. Pura eva nava. It is, even though it is old, pura eva, even though it's old, navaha. It is still new. It is still ever fresh.
Timeless.
Very good. So, which of the Shadvikara can you connect it to?
The stability. But no.
Asti.
Nope.
Mate.
Viparina Mate is one connection because no changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can also connect it to Vardate. Vardate. It does not
Vardate.
grow. Apakshiyate.
Okay.
It does not decay. So Purana is a very important word. It is still new even though it is old. That is one very important way of understanding the word Purana. Otherwise, normally we tend to look at Purana as old and therefore having already decayed, isn't it? So the definition Pura eva nava is to indicate that the Atma is old, it is timeless. Ambarish used a very good word, timeless. It is not affected by time. And when something is not affected by time, what is the main advantage?
Ever existing.
It remains the same.
Always remains
ever.
the same.
Remember, all decay,
Always youthful.
Doesn't decay.
any vikara is because of time alone.
Yeah.
So timeless, the beautiful word, it means it is beyond all vikaras. Then the next one is na bhuyaha. So again, so all the four you have to connect it here, all the four vikaras. Janma rahitaha, vriddhi rahitaha, apakshaya rahitaha, vinasha rahitaha. Janma rahita means it is free of birth. Vriddhi rahitaha is vardate. Is changed by way of growth. Vriddhi is changed by way of growth. Addition of new features or whatever. Vriddhi rahitaha. It's free of vardate also. That particular Shadvikara does not apply. Apakshya rahitahe, free of decay also. And therefore vinasha rahitaha. All these are not there. Not only that Atma does not have all these features. Hanyamane sharire ayam na hanyate. When the body is destroyed, this Atma is not destroyed. And this Shankara says, this line, the fourth line, has to be used as representing one of the vikaras, which is viparinama vikara, free from any parinama. Remember, viparinama is vina parinam, free from any parinam, free from any change. Why is it free from any change? Because he has said that maranam is free of paranam also, and therefore these changes are not there. It is necessary to take these particular meanings because we want to avoid punar ukti dosha. Okay? And therefore these meanings are taken. Now look at the first three lines again. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Okay, what does it mean? Free, ultimately, essence is what? Free from birth and death. Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhoya. If you look at the essence of what we have discussed, what does it mean? Again, free from birth and death. Ajo nitya shashatoyam pranaha. What does it mean? Again, it means free from birth and death. So, three times in different words, the same idea is being repeated. Is this not punarukti dosha? This is because now this is a question raised by what is called a purva pakshi. Okay, in Shankara Bhashya we will find that there is a creature called a purva pakshi. So pakshi doesn't mean bird. Okay, what does purva pakshi mean?
Opinion.
Opinion. The
Pakshi is a group. Okay, group of
Side.
people. A side, so to say. So Purva Pakshi is the person who doesn't agree with what Shankara is saying. It's a different side, a different group of persons. So normally in the Bhashya, we will find that Purva Pakshi will be there. So he will stand up and give an argument. What you are saying is not correct because this. So this is the argument given by Purva Pakshi, that three times these things are said and first three lines. Obviously, ultimate meaning is the same only. All are free from birth and death. So why is it definitely punarukti dosha? Just because they are different words doesn't mean that you can say it is not punarukti dosha. So Shankara says no, there is a purpose. Okay. So first is an opening statement. So pratigya, it's called a pratigya vakyam. The opening statement is a statement which you have to defend. Okay. The second is the detailed explanation, which is called the hetu, the reasoning. And the third is a conclusion arrived at after the detailed explanation. So that is called a nigamanam in Sanskrit. So this is a typical example of an argument. Pratyagnya vakyam, hetu, nigamana. There will be a statement to be defended, which you say, this is a statement to be defended. Then there will be detailed explanation of the statement. And then after the explanation, then you will arrive at a conclusion, which is basically pratignya vakyam alone. Does it make sense?
Yes, Acharya.
yes.
It's like,
What is the opening called?
beg your pardon?
What is the opening statement called in
Pratignya
Sanskrit?
vakyam.
Pratigya Vakyam, Hetu Vakyam, and the third one is
Nigamana.
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 Nigam-
Nigamanam.
Nigamana.
Conclusion.
Nigamana.
Nigamanam, conclusion. Okay. So it's like your daily news, First the headlines, then the detail, opening headlines, detail, closing headlines. This is the typical, way that teaching takes place. Okay, so when I was in school and I was getting into this elocution and debates, so I had a teacher. Our teacher was an excellent teacher, and he gave me a bit of advice which I've always remembered. So he says, first, what do? You tell them what you are going to tell them. That is step number one. Step number two is you tell them. That's step number two. And step number three is what? You tell them what you have told them. See, first is the opening summary, then is the detailed explanation, then is the closing summary. This is typical of a good teaching style. Okay, and therefore he says Atma is called Nirvikaraha. So we have now arrived at 7 different features in all these verses. What is the first one? Nitya. Second one, Satya. Third one, Sarvagataha. Fourth one, Aprameya. Fifth one, Akarta. Sixth one, Abhokta. Seventh one, Nirvikara. These 7 you must always remember because these are features of the Atma. Never say that they are the attributes. Never use the word attributes. Why?
It doesn't have attributes.
Useless.
Attribute means it changes.
It's nirguna.
Exactly. Attribute is guna.
Getting it.
Atma is nirguna. So never use the word attributes. Okay. Always if at all you have to use, remember these are not attributes, these are not even features. Because ultimately we say that Atma is beyond description. Okay. But these are all words used to enable us to understand what is Atma. So these are the 7 features which we must always remember. Nitya.
Can you please repeat the 7 once again?
It's already been done in each verse. Okay. So now what I am summarizing is whatever we have done starting from verse number 12. So Nitya, Satya, Sarvagataha, Aprameya, Akarta, Abhokta, Nirvikara. 7 main features. Okay. Out of all the features, what is the learning? Atma is Shadvikara Rahitaha, which means it does not go from Bhavaha to Abhavaha. That means there is no change from existing to non-existing, or Abhavaha to Bhavaha, or non-existing to existing. Those changes don't take place. Okay. Then what is the problem? If Atma, which is I, is of this nature, then what is the problem? Problem is that due to ignorance, Atma and Shariram, body, are taken together. Which means what? Normally, if I know I am the Atma, I should segregate the body and say this is something which I am using. But I don't do that. I consider the physical body as an intrinsic attribute of myself, the Atma. Right? What is the word we used for intrinsic attribute?
Agantuk.
Agantuka is incidental attribute.
Yes.
Swabhavik.
Swabhavika
Swabhavika.
dharma. Swabhavika dharma, we said, intrinsic attribute. Remember, the body is Agantuka dharma, incidental attribute of the jiva, not Swabhavika dharma. Swabhavika dharma, the intrinsic attribute of the jiva, is Atma only. So because we consider the body as intrinsic to the word I, see, the whole story is about the usage of the I. Okay. That is why I keep saying, when you all ask questions involving I keep saying, first understand and tell me what you mean by the I. If you are not crystal clear about what the word I means, any question you ask will be, rooted in confusion. You should always know what is meant when you say I. Okay, you can use the word I in different meanings at different times. That is bound to happen. If you are saying, I am hungry, what is the I being used as?
Body. The
Sorry?
body.
No, you need to be
Body.
specific. Which of the koshas are you referring to?
Annamaya.
Sukshma.
Not
Sukshma.
Pranam.
This?
Pranamaya.
This is pranamaya, not annamaya. Okay. Now, if you are saying my hand is paining, what is that?
Annamaya.
No.
Manomaya.
Again, pranamaya, manomaya. So be very careful how you use. And if you say I am Atma, then that is the usage in the capacity of Atma. Right? When you say I am a girl, that is Annamaya. because you're referring to the attribute of the body, right? So remember that whenever you use the word I, you must be extremely clear how you're using it. Once that clarity is there, then only can we really understand what Krishna is trying to say. Because the word Atma can mean anything. It can mean the body, it can mean Satchidatma, it can mean the mind. As you will see when you go through the Bhagavad Gita and especially through the Upanishads, Atma is used very many ways. I, me, us, all this Atma only. Okay. And who is saying all this? Bhagavan. Sri Bhagavan Ovacha was the meaning. And I said sometime back that we'll talk about what is Bhagavan. So the word Bhagavan is defined in Vishnu Purana. It says Bhagaha Asya Asti Iti Bhagavan, which means he who has the Bhagas, that is called Bhagavan, which is very obvious, right? What is Dhanavan?
Who has the dhan?
Who has Dhan,
Well,
right? Who is Balavan? Who has
Who
got
Has
Bal.
bal.
Therefore, who is
Well.
Bhagavan?
Who has Bhaga?
Has
Bhaga.
bhaga.
So remember, the etymology is extremely important in understanding. Bhagavan is nothing mysterious. It simply means who has the Bhaga, right? Now, Bhaga, remember, is not Bhaga. So don't say Bhaga, Bhagavan. Bhagavan means the one who has got lots of parts. Different from Bhagyavan, okay? Little inflections in Hindi. What is Bhagyavan?
Fortunate.
Right?
The fortunate.
fortunate.
So Bhagavan is one who has got parts. Bhagyavan is one who is fortunate. Bhagavan is one who has got the bhagas. Now, what are the bhagas? Again, Vishnu Puranam describes. It says, Aishwarasya samagrasya virasya yashasaha shriyaha jnana vairagya yogaschaiva shananam bhaga itiranaha. So samagrasya. Samagram means totality. So take the first word. Samagrasya Aishwarasya. What is Aishwaryam?
The overlordship.
Aishwaryam is
Yeah.
overlordship, which means one who is the controller and never the controlled. Right? That word Aishwaryam is very important because in many languages, especially South Indian languages, Aishwaryam means beauty also. So in Malayalam, for example, they say, what an that girl has a lot of Aishwarya. It means that she is very pretty. But that's not the word. Here, Aishwarya means the one who is the controller, who is never the controlled. He has the overlordship. Overlordship means what? He is not subject to any restrictions. So law of karma does not apply to him. And nor does any Laukika law apply to him. Nor does any worldly law apply to him. That is Samag. And Samagram is totality. So Samagrasya Aishwaryasya, the one who is a total controller, never the controlled, beyond the reach of any laws. Then that word Samagrasya has to be used everywhere. Samagrasya Virasya, absolute power. Absolute power means Shakti. What Shakti are we talking about? If it is Ishvara we are talking about, immediately it should occur to you, what is the Shakti of Ishvara?
Or the totality of the Shaktis of
Which means
all
what? How does it manifest?
creation,
Creator and
all of
destroyer.
creation.
So Shrishti, Sthiti, and Layakarta.
And Laya.
Remember that Samagrasya Virasya means absolute Shakti, which means he is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the destroyer of the universe. So Shrishti, Sthiti, Layakarta. Then Samagrasya Yashasaha. So Yashaha means fame. And here the meaning is simple. Any fame that is there in this world belonging to anybody, that fame ultimately comes from Ishvara alone. All because Ishvara is a totality. He is the Samashti. And therefore, if any Vyashti has got any fame, all the Vyashtis together is Samashti only. So total fame all comes from him only. So Samagrasya Yashasaha. Similarly, samagrasya shriyaha, total wealth. Whatever wealth belongs to Vyashti, totality of it is Ishvara only. So all wealth belongs to him. Similarly, samagrasya vairagyam, dispassion. Similarly, samagrasya jnanam, the knowledge of every single Vyashti ultimately resides only in Ishvara. Okay, so this is the meaning. Total Aishwaram, total Viryam, total Yash, total Shriyaha, total Jnanaha, and total Vairagya. The 6 bhagas. And bhaga here, the word is not bhaga. Literally, if you look at the Sanskrit dictionary, you will find that it has several meanings. Among the meanings, all the 6 are included. You will find that bhaga means Aishwaryam, bhaga means Viryam, bhaga means Yashaha, bhaga means Shriyaha, bhaga means, all this. Vairagyam also, Jnanam also. So the bhaga means all these things. That word bhaga is a use in place of all these 6. So bhaga means these 6. That is why the first definition, bhaga asya asti. The one who has all the bhagas, iti bhagavan. This is the Lord. Okay, any questions? No questions? All right.
Sir,
Yeah.
I had been wondering that this Shadvikaras are apparently seen in this Sthula Sharira, but the Sukshma Sharira, some of them I cannot understand how the Sukshma Sharira undergoes some of these Shadvikaras. We can't see the Sukshma Sharira grow, and
You can't see it,
Bimari.
bro.
I can't even imagine. And the Sukshma Sharira also leaves the Sthula Sharira when the body drops, and it has a longer life, as we know.
We will ask your, what you call, Tattvada teacher. Is Meda there?
Yes, Raviji.
Do you want to explain that? How Shadvikara applies to Sukshma Sharira?
It dies at Pralayam.
Well, it keeps changing.
Exactly.
So maybe it doesn't go in an order exactly, but I think it keeps changing, and so the changes apply.
So if you want to look at Sukshma Shariram, remember it's a composite, right? When you say Sukshma Shariram, how many koshas are there?
3.
Okay. What are they?
Pranamaya, Vijnanmaya,
And
Manomaya.
does prana change?
No.
No?
Yes.
Prana changes all the time.
Mana.
Which is why sometimes you are feeling energetic, sometimes you're not feeling energetic. It's all that is change only, right? Prana is what gives you the body energy. So some days you feel energetic, some days you don't feel energetic. The bodily change.
No, but it is still there. Those.
They're not changed. When you inhale, what is happening? It is which prana?
Prana.
When you
It is
inhale,
the prana.
Prana. No, apan bhai. Apan.
why? Apana, why?
What goes in is apan and what comes out
What goes down
is prana. Sorry.
Is apana. What comes up is prana. Okay. So the yogic understanding of prana inhalation is not correct. So something goes down, something comes up. Is it not changing?
Yes.
Remember that prana is always changing. What about manomaya? Does it change?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
We feel differently. We have different vrittis.
No thought remains for more than an instant. It is the most changing thing in your life is the manomaya. What about Vijnanamaya? Does it change?
Yes.
Yes,
Remember,
that
what,
changes.
what will happen if Vijnanamaya does not change?
We will never learn more.
Learn.
Every thought is a changing thought. Every new thought is a change only. Therefore, you have to understand it this way. It changes all the time. Is that clear, Rituji?
Kind of, but does it decay?
Does what decay?
Does the Sukshma Sharira?
Decay in the sense,
Apakshiyate, as we said.
not in the sense of going towards destruction, no. But it is subject to Vikara. Vikaras may not be the same as the gross body.
Okay.
Okay, so,
In a subtle way, Guruji,
beg your pardon?
in a subtle way, it undergoes Sadhikara.
It changes, right? Your body
Yeah,
in this
so-
birth is no longer the body of the last birth, subtle body.
Right.
Last birth, you might
So
have been some other being, or you might have been a male. So that is a different subtle body.
Right.
It's a different subtle body. The attributes are different. When you come to Upanishad, even the shape of the subtle body, it says, the Upanishad says, is defined by the gross body. Every kosha takes the shape of the Annamaya kosha only. And therefore, in each birth, the shape of the subtle body is different.
Acharya
Yeah.
when loss of memory happens, so what that can be called as?
Loss of memory.
Yes, I mean, as we grow age, so maybe 75, 80, some people, they have like, it's not total loss, but
It is
anyway,
decay,
they
apakshiyate,
feels like they can't remember.
Yeah, apakshiyate.
Yes, that's why I was asking if that can be called. Yes.
You can, if you think deeply enough,
Yes.
all the changes will apply. Right? There's no way. Why will this? There's a basic reasoning behind why changes apply. That reasoning you should never forget. What is the reasoning?
Anatma.
Anatma. Anything which is anatma is subject to these 5 changes, which is 6 changes. That is the basic reasoning. It doesn't matter whether the anatma is in the subtlest form or in the grossest form. If it is anatma, the Shadvikara are applicable. Remember, destruction is applicable to all Sukha Shariram as well as Karana Shariram. That is why it is called Anatma.
Yes. Thank you.
You have to never forget that particular portion, because if you do that, sometimes we get engrossed in analyzing so much that we forget what the basic reasoning was. The basic reasoning is that anything which is anatma is subject to change. Because if it was not subject to change, then what would it be?
Atma.
It would be
Trikale tishtati iti sat. What is not subject to change? So, you should not, when you think of Atma, you should not make statements like Atma is not subject to change. You should say, whatever is not subject to change, that is Atma. That is the correct way of thinking. If you say Atma is not subject to change, it is okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. But a far more refined way is to say that whatever is not subject to change, that is Atma. That is what is the meaning of Trikale Tishtati iti Sat.
Otherwise, we are putting that as object, right? When we call Atma is something.
You are objectifying it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
One thing maybe I misunderstood initially when you chanted this 20th verse. It was in Trishtu, but somehow we didn't chant it in that way. So
We
was
did,
that
we did. It's actually like this. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit
okay, Acharya?
nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranah na hanyate hanyamane sharire. That is
Okay,
the
Acharya.
Prishto. Okay. Some people will chant it in a, more pleasant to the ears. It depends on the person.
Okay, Acharya. Thank
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much for your patience. We will meet next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you, Ashti. Thank you.
Thank you.